What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope all you're having a great day so far today. Getting into this episode of GH, Michael was being a tad bit ridiculous today. I will say that. I totally understood where Michael was coming from with his anger towards Sonny. I get it. But I feel like Dante and Drew were trying to bridge the gap pretty much. They're both trying to talk some sense into Sonny and Michael. Both of them are just alike. And Michael was angry when Dante pretty much compared him to Sonny. Because you are. You're just like him. You're stubborn as hell. You know what I mean? That might not be your biological dad or anything, but you are stubborn. I'm just saying, like, Michael was acting very stubborn. Um, just as stubborn as a damn mule. Like, he just wouldn't listen to reason. And Dante pointed out how when Sonny found out about Carly and the whole Harmony situation, it's true. Sonny's first instinct was to call Carly to check on her. But Michael pointed out, well, that was his first instinct, but he didn't call her, though. Sonny didn't call her because he didn't think that Carly wanted to hear from him, which is true. I mean, if Carly wanted him to know what was going on, she would have contacted him. She didn't think about calling Sonny. That wasn't her first instinct. She could have called him and said something, but she didn't. She chose to, not bother him with it, I guess. Um, Michael is pretty much declaring war on Sonny right now. Like, he's pretty much saying how he's gonna rebuild the Corinthos name. I'm like, Michael. See, this is what irks me about Michael. If you want nothing to do with Sonny, why not drop his name? Why are you still going by Corinthos? Why not just go by Quartermain? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? You live on their property. You're a shareholder in their company. You're biologically related to them. Why not just drop the Corinthos name if you don't want nothing to do with him? Like, it's just ridiculous at this point. Um, like, he's literally declaring an all-out war. Like, he's gonna rebuild the name. He's gonna rebuild the legacy of the family. He pretty much vowed to take everything away from Sonny. Like, he don't even give a damn if Sonny goes to prison at this point. Because he said when Sonny does go to prison, like when the cops come knocking on Sonny's door, he was like, it ain't going to be nowhere for him to hide. My advice for Mr. Michael, don't do this. Don't wage this war against Sonny. It's a fool's move, in my opinion. Because let me tell you something. Sonny, on the one hand, he's a little upset with Michael because he feels like Michael disrespects him. I get that. But he still wants to bridge that gap between him and Michael. Even when Drew was talking to Sonny, Sonny was trying to figure out any and every way to try to fix the family. When he found out that they were trying to, do business with ELQ and Aurora, uh, and trying to, freeze Valentine out, Sonny immediately wanted in because he felt like he needed to protect Michael from Valentine. But Drew was like, no, don't do that. Um, I mean, that was Sonny's first instinct, though. Even though Michael's upset with him, Sonny's first instinct was to protect Michael. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want this war with Michael. But I feel like if Michael keeps pushing Sonny, like literally keep pushing it, like we all know Michael can be ruthless. We know that. But if he pushes Sonny too much, it's not going to be long before Sonny pushes back on him. Because Sonny, let me tell you something, he got a love for his kids, but you can only push him but so far, and that goes for his kids. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no telling what Sonny's gonna do depending on Michael's actions. You know what I mean? So my best advice to Michael is don't poke the bear. That might be your daddy and all that, but you might see a whole different side of him if you push too far and you do certain things. You might want to pull back off of this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Michael's starting to take it a bit too far now. Dante had that look in his face like he could see that this is about to be, some bad shit going down in his family. And there might not be anything he can do about it. Um, keep hope alive and pray. I mean, I just feel like some bad stuff is about to go down in the Corinthos family. Like, people are about to be divided, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might have to pick sides on this one. Michael is not letting up on this. So anyway, moving on from that, Jocelyn and Carly was looking good. You know, they was over at the nail salon and stuff. You know, having some mother daughter time. Um, and then of course they started talking about Nina in this case. Jocelyn felt like once the judge reads the article, because you know that article about Nina came out. Um, and she feels like once the judge reads the article or whatever, he should laugh her out of court. In my opinion, that article I feel is not going to have any bearing on that judge. I really don't think it will, because maybe a little, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't, because that's all public knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's all a public record. Everybody in town knows pretty much everything that was said in that article about Nina, that included Ava and all that stuff. That's everybody in town knows about that. It's no secret. Everybody knows, so it really should not impact this case. In my honest opinion, I feel like it shouldn't, because it's the worst kept secret. I'm pretty sure the judge knows about it, but I'm pretty sure he probably knew before he even, if he read the article. Because apparently this visitation trial is supposed to start tomorrow, whatever. And I'm just like, that judge probably know all about what's going on with them. Unless that judge lived under a rock, I'm pretty sure they know. So I wouldn't go that far. Jocelyn pretty much feels like Carly is justified in whatever action she takes against Nina. Um, whatever Carly does to protect Wiley, Jocelyn feels like her mother is justified in it. Carly got every right to be pissed at Nina. Every right. But my thing is, don't play God like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know information, or you think you know information, bring it to Willow. You know what I mean? I just feel like this is going to backfire on Carly. It has the making of backfiring on her. She may not get the results that she thinks she's going to get. Like, if she decides to keep this to herself. After she gets the DNA results, that's what I'm waiting to see. Like, what is she going to do once she gets full confirmation? I honestly feel like Carly needs to let Willow, handle this on her own, because I feel like this might just backfire all up in Carly face. Honestly, I just have to be honest. It's not gonna have the desired results. Like, we all know how Michael feels about being lied to. So once he finds out that his mama knew and didn't say anything, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for her to get those results, because I want to see what Carly do after that. Hopefully she does what I hope she'll do, because if not, it's just gonna bring more drama to her doorstep. So it's like, why go through that? Um, and then we all know, like, at some point it's gonna be an issue between Michael and Willow, I'm sure, because Willow probably is gonna want to get to know Nina on a different level once she finds out that's her mom. And Michael might still feel salty towards her, so it might be some drama there. Um, Speaking of Willow, I'm glad Sam took her to the fair. Because there was a fair, I guess, for Scout, for the kids or whatever. Scout was doing something. Avery was doing something. So Sonny was there, of course, as well. Sam looked good. Let me just say something. Sam was looking hot today. Like, she looked good every day, but she was looking particularly good today. I was like, okay, Sam, come out here with the colors. Um, she not wearing them little dark ass colors she normally used to wear. I love to see it though. I said at least they got Sam dressing a bit different now, because I said before you would have thought she was a gothic. You know what I mean? Like, I love, the color black and dark blue and navy and all that too, but sometimes you got to brighten it up a little bit. you know. So yeah, I'm glad her and, Sam had a chance to talk and stuff, Willow and Sam. And I'm glad that Sam offered to help her find her birth mother. But she also gave her some sage advice too, because she was like, she needs to ask herself, like, if is she prepared for the answers that she might get, that she may not want to hear. Because it's a lot when you go looking for your birth parent. It's a lot that plays into your mind, like what that moment gonna be like and all that. So she wants to make sure Willow is prepared for that. And I agree. Um, and I'm glad that Willow got confirmation that Harmony wasn't her mother. Like, she wasn't shocked by it, but she was. But she knew it was coming. But it's just different when you get the actual papers in your hand that proves it, that cements that. So I knew that was a lot for her. But it's gonna be a wild ride when she finds out that Nina's her mom. Like, that's gonna be a trip for her. I'm pretty sure. Um, So of course, Curtis went to go see Nina. You know, I do like Nina and Curtis's friendship. I'm not gonna lie, because he is there for her, even if she is in the wrong or whatever. And sometimes you got to let your friend know when they wrong, but you can still support your friend, but you gotta let them know when they wrong too. Um, Curtis was trying to come up with strategies and stuff for her, like, you still got an ace in the hole. He was like, you could bring up Sonny. The fact that Sonny has access to Wiley, even with his reputation, and you don't. My thing is, Curtis, you've been in a bubble lately because you must not know the dynamics of the Corinthos family right about now. Sonny ain't got no access to Wiley anymore. So you can tell Curtis ain't been in the know lately. Like you need to come up out that rock that you've been under and see what's going on around you and read the room. Um, Sonny ain't got that clout with Michael anymore like he used to have, so it ain't like he could just stroll over one day to go see his grandson, because nah, that's not going down anymore. So using that as a strategy ain't gonna work, because that's just gonna blow up in your face in court. And like I said, as much as Nina did dirt, everybody in that town done some dirt. And as much as I don't really care for Nina right about now, like I keep saying, supervised visitation. I feel like that's best for right now. You know what I mean? I feel like that should be a compromise. But I feel like Michael's not going to go for that right now. Would he have went for that maybe a few months back or whatever? And I totally get what a lot of people keep saying. Like when she was in Nixon Falls with Sonny, she wasn't thinking about Wiley. And I totally agree, because she even missed out on his birthday because she was in Nixon Falls with Sonny. So I do agree on that. Definitely I agree. But we can't deny that she still has some grandparent rights. We can't deny those. And she does have the right to file suit. Does that mean she's going to win? No. Does she have a good chance? Slightly. So we're just going to have to wait for the hearing to see how that play out. You know what I mean? But she's determined to get in her grandson life. So anyway, moving on from that. So like I was saying with Drew and Sonny, Drew was trying to bridge the gap with Sonny and Michael, and Sonny, he wants to fix the family and stuff like that. But you know how Sonny is. He keep talking about, oh, I didn't want the divorce with Carly. Well, sleeping with another woman is going to expedite that. I'm just saying. You may not want it, but your wife ain't going to keep, being cool with you slipping your dingling to other women. I'm just saying. You can't keep slipping these women to Shillelagh and think that Carly going to be all right with it. It ain't going down. You got to learn how to keep that in your pants, especially when you're married. Sonny realizes what Michael's doing, basically. Michael is building a wall around himself and Willow and Wiley. And he's not allowing Sonny access into that wall. Like, he's not giving him a key. He ain't nothing. So, and Sonny feels like Michael's about to start something that, he gonna need all the help he can get, because you starting a war right now that you might not be able to handle. You know what I mean? Like, especially with this whole ELQ Aurora situation, it's like, and that's what Sonny wanted to protect Michael from, because he knows how Valentine can get down when he feels like he's cornered and he want to get revenge, and that's what Sonny was worried about. But you know what? Michael got to handle this, his way. Michael and Drew got to handle it. So speaking of Aurora, I don't blame Ned for feeling the way he felt, and I was shocked at BLQ's attitude towards it. She's totally okay for this merger. But I feel like they want this merger for the wrong reasons, because every time they bring up the merger, all I keep hearing is it's a way to neutralize Valentine. That's all I hear. I'm not hearing the business part of it. Like, what business sense is it making to merge these two companies together? They're not speaking about that. All I keep hearing is, well, we could dilute Valentine shares. If that's your only motivation for doing this, it's gonna blow up in your face. Don't do it. And I totally don't blame Ned for feeling the way he felt. BLQ was basically trying to pat him on the head the same way Drew and Michael did. Talking about, oh, just let this die down today because it's Leo's day. Because, Leo got to read his poem today. She talking about, oh, you could talk to them later about your future with the company. That's the problem. He already spoke with them, both, collectively, about his position in the future with the company. They didn't give him concrete answers. So even if he talks to them tomorrow about it, what makes her think that the results are gonna be different? They're still gonna pat him on the head and say, well, we'll have something for you. I don't blame Ned for feeling the way he felt. At this point, I can totally see Ned joining forces with Valentine because Valentine realized that's what he needs to do. Valentine knows that, and Martin told him, he said, listen, as long as the Quartermaines stick together and they're a united front, you're going to be voted out as CEO. The only way to combat this is to get a Quartermaine on your side. Because Olivia, when she bumped into him, she accidentally told him about the merger. He pretended like he knew about the merger. In reality, Valentine didn't have a clue. All he knew was they were calling a board meeting and he just knew that they were going to try to vote him out again. Because that was the whole basis of the last meeting that they had. But that whole Austin situation kind of postponed that meeting. So that's what he figured this new meeting was about. He had no clue about the merger. You know what I mean? I think it's smart for Valentine and Ned to join forces. But the only way I can see Ned joining forces with Valentine is if there's something in it for him. Ned is not about to just hand the CEO chair over to Valentine. Only way I can see Ned joining forces with him is if Ned negotiates a deal to where him and Valentine are the co-CEOs. That's the only way I can see him putting his support behind Valentine. That's the only way. If, even if not as co-CEO, at least as chief operating officer, second in command maybe. But I know Ned, he's going to want a valuable position. He's not going to take anything less. But it's going to be a war. It's going to be a battle. Usually I don't want to see Quartermaine versus Quartermaine, but it's like Drew and Michael are pretty much the reason for this. All they had to do was keep Ned in the loop and, tell him what you're doing. They kept treating him like he was a little kid or something. So I wouldn't blame him if he decided to defect to the other side. I wouldn't blame him. And it's not like Valentine has been a bad CEO. I mean, hell, they've been seeing good profit. And I feel like ELQ should remain a separate company. So anyway, moving on from that, I just want to say one thing real quick. Why is Jordan single? I'm just saying Jordan is fucking gorgeous. Like, that woman is a Nubian. They need to find Jordan a man. I'm just saying, like, she can't just be cop mode 24/7. Get her a man. That woman is just too fine to waste. I'm just saying, do y'all see that? Jordan, no matter which actress has played Jordan, she always been bad as all outdoors, especially this new one. So I'm like, y'all got to get her a man, like a woman, something. Get her some, because ain't no sense for her to be all single and she looking all scrumptious. Like, come on now. So anyway, speaking of Jordan, she went to go check up on TJ because he been working these long ass hours. I understand where TJ coming from. He was just getting to know Marshall and stuff like that, but he was tripping. He wanted Jordan to do a missing persons case on Marshall. I'm like, first of all, Marshall's not missing. You can't waste police resources trying to find somebody who's not missing. Marshall chose to leave. That was his choice. Why file a missing persons? That don't even make no type of sense. A missing person for what? So, Jordan, I'm glad she refused to do it because she was like, you know what? That's not going to happen. She was like, I can't investigate that on my own and stuff like that too because there's nothing to investigate. But she just told him, just look into it himself. And he ended up finding a note or a receipt in the clarinet from a shop or whatever. So she told him, she was like, go to the shop, talk to the owner, see if Marshall left behind any information that could help find him. And I agree. I mean, if he wants to find Marshall, then you just gonna have to do it on your own. But he feels like, if he does do this, then he might mess things up even more or whatever. And Jordan was like, well, you can make things better. Because it's clear, like, Curtis is still conflicted. Even when he was talking to Nina. Like, he wants to know about his father's past and stuff, but he also clearly wants his dad in his life because he got to know him a little bit for the short time that he was back in town. So it's clear that, Curtis wants to get to know his dad. He wants to, his father in his life, but it's kind of hard for him to do that not knowing about the past. And I get it, but, sometimes you got to sacrifice some things. Maybe he'll decide to let the past be the past. Sometimes you have to, but I know it's going to nag at Curtis if he don't know what happened. So it's like he's in between a rock and a hard place at this point. Leo was all happy about his poem, but he really wanted Chase to be at his event for his poem and stuff like that. And he kept asking BLQ where Chase was and stuff like that. I think that's just another reason for them to try to get BLQ and Chase together. They need to stop dragging their feet and come on. because I'm ready for them to, be a couple and stop playing these little games. Y'all too old for the games now. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section, let me know what you all thought, and I will see you all later. Hope you all have a great night. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Peace.